This video is part 2 to creating and publishing your very own hardback book on Amazon via the KDP platform. Now in part 1, we looked at creating and getting your interior, which in this case was a lined notebook interior. Here we have the PDF file for that, which you can download from my Gumroad shop completely free of charge, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. And we also went through creating the cover for our book, and this is a travel journal. Now, if you've not watched part 1, I suggest pausing this video and going to watch part 1 first, which I'll leave a link to down below in the description. So we've got the interior for our book together, we've got our cover, and now it's time to upload it to the KDP platform and hit that publish button. Now before we do that, welcome to my channel. My name is Marles and I do videos on how to make it, keep it and grow it. And that's your money I'm talking about. If you do like videos like that, then please do give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell to receive notifications of when I produce more videos and tutorials like this. Okay, so we've got our cover and interior, and we've logged into our KDP account, or you've just created your KDP account by signing up for one, which is free of charge. And here you'll see we've got this option to create a hardcover book, which it says is in beta or beta. And all we need to do is just click on that. And here we have the first page, which is our hardcover details. Now, first of all, we want to put in our title. Now, the title of a book has to appear on the front cover or the spine of the book. And our book was called a travel journal. So we'll write that in the book title. Next, we come to the subtitle, which is a little bit more information about the book. So we could put in something like blank lined notebook for travelers. Again, this is very quick and very simple to show you how the process works. We can ignore the series, we can ignore the edition number, and we come along to author, where you can put in the first, middle and last name of the author. This can be a pen name, it can also be a brand name. Be aware that Amazon or KDP doesn't like the use of keywords here, so just be careful if you start putting in things like notebook or journal into the author name. Here I'm just going to use something I've used before as an example, and that is Retro Press, so that'll be the first and last name. Contributors we can ignore. Description again will be very similar to the subtitle, but you want to put in some details about the number of pages, the size of the book, who it's intended for. So I'll just write something in here quickly. And what I've written there is extremely simple. Now remember, this is a bit like your sales page. So just put something a bit enticing, a few more details that describes your book. Now the next stage is the publishing rights. Now for this, you click on I own the copyrights and necessary publishing rights. Where it says here public domain work, that refers to public domain works that you're putting inside the book, and that might be a non-fiction or fiction piece which is out of copyright and is in the public domain. However, I'd be careful doing this because Amazon does say that if there are already books published with those public domain works and therefore free, it's likely that they won't publish your book. Because why? Because it's already there. What they don't want is whole lists and all the space taken up of Amazon of just free public domain works. So we've clicked the correct box there. Now when it comes to keywords, I've done a video on this, on how I choose keywords, and I've done another video on how I use keywords. Now basically, if we go to Amazon and just type in travel journal, we'll see that we get these options here, which can be used outright as phrases. Some people will put these phrases in the 7 keyword boxes. So one keyword box might have travel journal for women, the next might have travel journal for couples, next might be travel journal notebooks, etc. What I tend to do is something slightly different, and is that I will put in individual words. Now in the title, I've already used travel journal, so I won't repeat that in my 7 keyword boxes, but I would put in these individual words. So just as a quick example here, I will type in women, couples, notebook, kids, for men, gift. Now I've done this very quickly. I will tend to fill up these boxes with more single words. So what happens is when someone searches, they may put in sort of travel journal for women or travel journal for couples. And because you've got travel journal in the title, that combined with the keywords in these 7 keyword boxes, hopefully your book would have a chance of being found. Doesn't mean 100% it would be found, because you're probably in competition with a lot of other books, but there is a chance that it could be found. Next, we choose our category. And for this, we've got lots of different categories to choose from. So you need to choose categories that are most appropriate to your book. And there's no quick way, unless you use paid for tools, of doing this other than by going through the different categories. So here I've clicked on non-fiction, scrolled down, and we've got a section here on travel. So to be quick, I'll just click on general and museum tours, points of interest. Now, probably not the most accurate of category to put it in, but again, this is just an example. Okay, so go and pick 2 that are most appropriate to your book. Then we click on save and continue. The next is the ISBN number. Now you can purchase your own ISBN numbers, but there's no real point in doing that, because you can just get a free one from Amazon. So I just click on assign me a free KDP ISBN number, assign ISBN, and that's it. It's all done for you. Don't need to fill out anything on the publication date. Now, here we come to the print options, and you've got a choice of a few different options here. Black and white on cream paper, black and white on white paper, premium color on white paper. If you start using color, it's going to cost you a lot more to have the book printed, which could eat away at your profits. Most likely, you'd have to price your book quite high, which might mean you're ending up pricing yourself out of the market. For this, it's aligned interior, can just be plain black and white. And I normally just use the white paper. You could try cream paper if you like, but I think sticking to something basic like black and white on white paper is advisable. Interior trim size, well, from our first video, we know that our interior is 6 by 9 inches. You can select a different size if you've created a different sized book, and you've got the choice of 5 here. There's no option at the moment to create custom sized hardcover books, which you can with paperback books. Then we come to bleed settings. Now, because this is aligned interior and the lines go from one edge of the page to the other, this is going to be a page with bleed. So we click on bleed, and then we've got the choice of cover. Now, my personal preference is matte. I've bought some of my own books that have the matte cover, and I really like the feel. It's got a nice quality feel, and I notice in reviews people say the same thing. When I first started, I did produce a lot of glossy covers. Now, apparently, if the cover is very dark or black, glossy is good because it doesn't show the finger marks up as much as matte would do. But I actually like the matte cover. It feels thick. It's just got that nice texture to it. But the choice is yours. Next is the manuscript, which is the interior of our book. Now, I showed you earlier on the interior, which was that lined interior in PDF format with 120 pages. So we click on Upload Hardcover Manuscript. Find where you've downloaded your interior to your computer, and from there just upload it to KDP. Usually takes a few seconds depending on your internet speed. And as we can see, it says uploaded successfully. Next is the book cover. Now, we've created our own book cover in Canva, which we did in the last video. So we can click on upload a cover you've already made, and again click on upload your cover file. Again, find on your computer where you downloaded that to and upload it to this particular section. This sometimes takes a little bit longer, and you'll see it says cover uploaded successfully. And as we scroll a bit further down, this launch previewer will change from white to orange, and we need to click on that next. And again, this will take a few moments to do its stuff. And when that's done, our print previewer will automatically open, and you'll see here we've got our book cover. And if we click on the arrows, we have our interior. And you can see here where they're going to print the ISBN number. Now, what you're looking for are any red warning triangles here and any warnings written down here on the left-hand side menu. And on the cover, we don't have any of those. And on the interior, we don't have any either. And if you are using my free lined interior, again, you should have no problems, you should have no warnings, and it should upload without any issues. Now, you can go through every single page if you like, just to check they are all okay. Don't need to do that. I know this particular interior is absolutely fine. So what we can do is click on approve. So once we've approved that, we'll see down here we have our printing costs. Now the print cost here is going to be $6.94, which is going to affect the pricing of our book, and that is the next page. So we click on Save and Continue, and this takes us to our last page before publishing. Now when it comes to territories, I normally just leave this check marked, which is all territories, worldwide rights. Primary marketplace I leave as Amazon.com. That's the biggest marketplace where you hope to make the most sales, so why not leave that there? Then we come to pricing. Now for most paperback journals of this size and also larger sizes, the average price is usually around $6.99. However, with that print cost over $6, obviously that pricing isn't going to work, so we're going to have to price these higher. And it says here the minimum price of $11 is $11.57, max $250. So I think the pricing is going to have to be somewhere around the $14.49 mark to $14.99 mark. So if we put that in here, we can see it will tell us our royalty. Now with the paperback, 120 pages at $6.99, our royalty is usually around about $1.90. So it looks like $14.49 is going to be around the price mark. Now there's not many hardcover books published via KDP on Amazon at the moment, so it's difficult to tell what most people are going to be selling their book at, but I keep an eye out for that and aim for around that price. It might be that $14.99 is the price that most of these books are published at. And KDP will also populate these other boxes in relation to what you've put in as a dollar price, and you can leave them as is or change them to whatever you prefer. Sometimes I might change this to something like $10.49, same here, $12.29, etc. And then the next stage, which is the most scary stage for some people, and that's to click on Publish Your Hardcover Book. Your book will then go into review. Now it does say here it can take up to 72 hours. When I first started, it used to take only about 10 to 12 hours. Don't be surprised if it takes longer than 72 hours if things get very busy on KDP, and that may be the case with this new hardcover version. There may be lots of people converting their paperback books into hardcover books. It may overwhelm the system a bit, so you may find sometimes it can take 5 to sometimes up to 12 days to get your book reviewed and published. But once that happens, congratulations, you're an author, publisher, and you've published your hardcover book. Now, if you didn't watch part 1 of this video, then I suggest clicking here to watch this next, or you might be interested in this link here to my book publishing tutorials when I go into certain aspects of the publishing process in more detail. Thank you very much for watching. It's very much appreciated. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and until next time, goodbye.